Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ronnie and today we are taking a look at the much anticipated Backfire G3 Plus. Without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Woo! Those are my first literal steps on the Backfire G3 Plus. This is my first ride on the board. Currently riding it in eco mode to get a feel for the board. While we get comfortable cruising, I just want to talk a little bit about my history with Backfire. I've ridden a couple of their boards before, the original G2, the G2T, the original Backfire Ranger, and now this one, the Backfire G3 Plus. Something that I've come to notice with Backfire ever since their first G2 model is that they sort of don't really follow the crowd. Ugh, that was bumpy. While everyone else is moving towards the let's copy boosted board route, Backfire has sort of just stayed in their own lane. They kept their similar design for pretty much all of their street boards. They said, hey, we're gonna do our own thing and that's gonna be what sets us apart, and I kind of admire that about them. So I'm gonna go ahead and kick things up a little bit. Topped out around 13.5 miles per hour in eco mode. Let's go ahead and go into sport mode. Oh yeah, now we're moving. I haven't looked at the numbers yet, but this has to be at least 2 times faster than eco mode. Woo! Definitely if you're a beginner, definitely learn in eco mode, and then once you get comfortable, go into sport and have some fun. I want to do a brake test. Smooth, not overly powerful brakes. One of the biggest differences that Backfire has done with the G3 Plus is the deck. As you can see, this is a beautiful, gorgeous deck. It is 100% carbon fiber, and it's just absolutely, it's a stunner. It's amazing. The thing about carbon fiber is that it's a super lightweight yet sturdy, rigid material. But what Backfire has done here is they actually made a carbon fiber longboard deck that has some flex to it. Now, I've never seen this before. In the past, I've ridden carbon fiber boards that are super stiff, which makes sense because when you use carbon fiber and you're going in like a straight line in a drag race, you know, you want that stiffness for stability and the lightweightness to not weigh you down. But what they've done here is they've actually added just a tiny bit of flex. I would say, I wouldn't call this board a flexi deck, but I would say that it's sort of around the same amount of flexiness as their past decks, maybe just a little bit less, but because of that, it actually makes this carbon fiber board not uncomfortable to ride. Because you're able to bounce with the flex, it sort of absorbs the shock from the little cracks and bumps on the road, which actually is a pretty big deal. Without it, you'd be able to feel every single little tiny bump on the road, and after a while, that'll just kill your feet. I think it's kind of amazing that they were able to build a carbon fiber longboard deck that actually flexes. That shows me that Backfire has put a lot of thought into what they're doing and that they're actually making improvements, like major improvements rather than small incremental ones. But this deck isn't perfect. Jerry from Backfire has told me that if you were to stomp in the middle of this board, because it is lightweight, it could break. I mean, I did a little early grab on it and it seemed fine. I don't think most people who buy this are gonna stomp in the middle, so you should be pretty good. The deck is a lot lighter than their old maple deck. It's at about half the weight, even though it's pretty much the exact same size and shape. I've always been a fan of the shape of Backfire boards. It's nice that they have a good amount of concave in them to lock your feet in if you want to do some aggressive style riding. The thing about the G3 Plus is, if I remember correctly, it's actually slightly wider than the G2T, which was a little narrow for me. So that little bit extra room is actually making a big difference for me right now. When it comes to the wheels, the Backfire G3 Plus comes stock with 85mm wheels at an 83A durometer, and they're fine. I'm honestly riding on kind of a rougher road right now. I should be using their 96mm wheels, which come with the board as well. That would be great for bigger cracks and just rough roads in general, kind of like where I'm riding right now. They're the same wheels as their previous generation, which is not a bad thing because they're pretty good wheels overall. I don't have lots of big hills around me, but this is sort of like an on-ramp. It goes up, kind of. It's a decent incline, and the G3 Plus is having absolutely no issues going up it. Yeah, unless you have like a really massive hill around you, I don't think it'll be a problem. When it comes to trucks, Backfire is actually using caliber trucks, and not only the front, but also the back as well. The previous generation only had calipers in the front. This one has calipers for both trucks. If you don't know, calipers are probably some of the best longboard trucks out there. Really good for performance when it comes to free ride riding, some downhill, and overall carving and cruising. To me, it's kind of like they're making a statement using genuine caliber trucks. Hey, we're not using just the same generic trucks as everyone else. We're actually doing something to improve the ride. And I like that. I think a lot of people will be happy with this change. The bushings on the calipers actually feel really good. They have good return to center. I can't complain. They're good trucks. Woo! Don't hit me. The electronic speed controller, or the ESC that Backfire is using, is the Hobbywing ESC, and myself and a lot of other people really love this ESC because it's very smooth when it comes to acceleration and when it comes to braking, and it's very predictable because when you're riding your board, you're going fast and you don't want to press anything on your remote that'll make it sort of act unpredictable, and the fact that they're using this ESC is really good because it's one of the best out there right now. There's no sudden accelerations when I press go. When it comes to the brakes, I would say that they're good in the sense that they're very smooth, but I think that they're a touch soft. I'm on a little bit of an incline. Let's see. Brakes work a little bit better in turbo mode. The battery is probably going to be the absolute biggest change that they've made to this board compared to their other models. It uses a 12S 50.4 volt 346 watt-hour battery. I'm surprised. I remembered that off the top of my head. Oh my god, this road is rough. What that basically means is that this battery is beefy. This is one of the biggest batteries out there right now on a board like this, and with it you can actually get up to 20 to 25 miles, or so they claim. We're gonna definitely be putting that to the test today. At the end of the video, I'll show you exactly how far I went on this board on a single charge. The remote that they're using is the same as the previous models. Like I said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's a good remote. I think their G2 model, their very first one, had a little stick here, and having a scroll wheel is just way better. You get a lot more control and precision when it comes to accelerating and braking. I like scroll wheel remotes, and I like this one a lot. This right here is the power button. This button over here toggles between speed modes. You have eco mode, and I call it sport mode. And this one switches you into turbo mode. Over at the bottom, you have a switch to go forward and backward. I pretty much only ride it rear wheel drive, so that stays over there. USB-C charging port, USB-C everything, am I right? And there's also a little LED screen so you can see the percentage of the battery on the board, percentage of the battery on the remote, what speed mode you're in, how fast you're going. And there's a little bit of an odometer there. I don't really look at this while riding because, well, I try to look at the road. It doesn't always happen, but I try. Oh my god. Eyes on the road, because you don't want to run into a big pothole. And for those wondering, yes, you can change speed modes while rolling. Even in the turbo mode. Woohoo! Yo! And I forgot to mention one thing about the remote that I like. This little hole right here gives me a good grip on the remote, and I never lose it. Oh! Just so you know, that was a joke. Okay, I'm a little scared, but I think I'm ready to go ahead and try out turbo mode on here. They claim that you should be able to reach a max speed of 28.5 miles per hour in turbo mode, and that's crazy fast. We're gonna go ahead and test it out. It'll give you a good idea of the kind of power, torque, and top speed you can get on this board. Start off at a standstill in 3, 2, 1. Oh, it's a lot punchier in turbo mode, that's for sure. Oh, acceleration's a bit faster too. Yo, this is fast. Woo! Oh, a little bit of a rough road right there. Come on, 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 let's go. I think that's enough to satisfy most speed demons. That was pretty fast. I'm actually gonna go again to see if we can squeeze out an extra mile or two. We got 28.9 miles per hour last time. Let's see how much faster we go this time. Okay, road's getting rough. Whew. For the motors, this board uses dual 600-watt hub motors. There are two different camps out there in the world of motors for electric skateboards. You have hub motor people and you also have belt drive people. Some people swear by one, some people dislike the other. Some people are fans of both, like myself. They both have their advantages and disadvantages. One advantage for hub motors is that there's just way less maintenance. You don't have to change out your belts or anything like that. It's easy to push as a regular longboard if you need to, if your batteries die. And they're pretty quiet overall. When it comes to belts, generally they have more torque. I don't know, I can neither confirm nor deny that that's a fact. I think it depends on the setup, but in some cases that's true. The biggest advantage of belts over hubs is probably the fact that you can switch out your wheels. With the right motor mounts, you can swap them to like orangutan wheels if you want, ABAC 11 wheels. So you're actually using real wheels instead of hub motor sleeves, which is much thinner urethane. You get to ride on the whole entire wheel. Some people like that. I don't mind. I think both are great. It just sort of depends on what you like. Luckily, these come with those bigger 96mm wheels, so that should have more urethane covering up the motor for a comfortable ride. I think I kind of messed up riding the 83s. That being said, I don't mind hub motors on pretty much any board. I think they're fine. But you don't get the... One special feature that they actually added onto this board are some ambient lights that change depending on the speed mode you're in. They sort of breathe and just glow under the board. When you're in slow mode, it goes slow. When you're in a faster mode, it operates a little differently. And when you're riding in turbo mode, it just goes crazy, just like how you are on turbo mode, going crazy fast down the street. And it's just really nice that they added a light because, well, fall is coming up, you know, days are getting shorter, nights are getting longer. I have a skate light and I think I forget to bring it with me literally every single time. So I always appreciate when boards have built-in lights. I'm a forgetful person, so when it's built into the board, I like that. I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but you actually get unlimited turbo mode on this board. In the past models, you had about 30 seconds of turbo mode, but on this one, you get to ride turbo mode until the board's dead. So it's nice to have that. I don't think I'll be riding turbo mode all the time because turbo mode's kind of a lot to handle. But for those of you that do want to just blast it, it's kind of nice that they did that. I think that the beginning speed mode on this board is just a little bit too slow. I think for the most part, people are going to be rocking with sport mode most of the time. Oh my god, this street sucks. I really should have rode the bigger wheels. Oh, it's wide open. I love it. This is dope. Come through on your left side. Whew. Whoa. I'm jealous of that guy's ride. I want what he's having. They definitely made a fun board, that's for sure. This is a lot of fun to ride right now. Shoop, 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 shoop. Oh no, acorns. Ah. Do I have 1 bar of battery right now on my remote? They say that these batteries are improved with minimal voltage sag. We're gonna go ahead and just do another acceleration to see if that's true. I can't access turbo mode anymore, my batteries are too low. But I still have access to sport mode, so let's go ahead and just kick it up. Yeah, last little sliver of battery over there. And it's still pretty quick. Woo. Yo. Ooh, maybe not as fast as before, but definitely not slow. Oh my god! While I'm technically still rolling, this is pretty much it. I think I'm gonna call it here. Oh, parking block. Yep, that's... So I went ahead and took the board and rode it from 100 to 0, not so real quick. At the end of the ride, I ended up getting 32 kilometers of range, which is 19.88 miles, so I'm gonna just say 20 miles of range, which is on par with the claimed 20 to 25 that they say it can do. I rode in a very mixed environment. There were some hills, some rough roads, some flats, some straights, some turns, and with real world riding I was able to at least get the bottom end of what they claim. Again, your mileage will vary depending on how much you weigh, where, and how you ride. I really can't complain about getting 20 miles on a single charge. That's awesome. When it comes to speed, I actually tested it out in 2 different modes. In S or sport mode, I actually managed to reach 27 miles per hour, maybe a little bit more than that, but around 27 miles per hour. And when I switched it up to turbo mode, the acceleration was a bit faster and I was able to get a higher top speed overall of 29 miles per hour. They claim 28.5. We blew that off the charts and I'm like 185 pounds, so if you're lighter, you'd probably be able to go way faster. The overall ride quality was unsurprisingly really good. Fast, accelerating was really smooth. Braking, brakes are good in sport mode and in turbo mode, but when you're in beginner mode, the brakes are a little weak. Yep, that took forever. I would say only use beginner mode when you're legit just starting out, ride in an open area, and practice. Because if you're actually using beginner mode to commute, the brakes are just gonna be way too weak. I think most people riding the sport are gonna be riding in sport or turbo mode most of the time, so not really an issue. Speaking of turbo mode is dope. This thing goes so fast in turbo mode, but you don't actually get access to turbo mode all the time. When your battery is sort of weak, it won't let you go to turbo mode, but you still get to go to sport mode and it's still pretty zippy in sport mode, trust me. What was surprising was how good this carbon fiber deck felt actually. Carbon fiber is usually really stiff and can be uncomfortable after a while, but the added flex to this actually made it pretty nice. I don't think there's a huge difference between the maple deck and this carbon fiber deck in terms of feel, but it is carbon fiber. It's a really nice material. It's gorgeous and it's gonna last. The carbon fiber makes the deck really light, but because they added all those batteries to it, it's actually only a little bit lighter than the G2T by like 0.3 pounds. So technically it's still lighter. Let's talk about the price. It's listed at $999, which makes this their most premium street board offering. And I'm trying to think to myself, is it that much worth it over the G2T? If you have the budget for it, I think it might be. This deck is special. This deck is unique. It's one of a kind. Well, not really, but that they're the first carbon fiber longboard in the world with flex. I haven't done any research on that topic, but I don't know of any other boards that do that, so the deck alone is crazy. Just such a premium feel and look to it overall. And then they went ahead and upgraded the trucks. Both the front and the back trucks be authentic caliber trucks. That's a nice update. It's got increased speed, unlimited turbo, and then double the range. A bump up in specs and an even bigger bump up in quality. In my opinion, I think that warrants the price. But if you can't afford it and you like everything else about it, then maybe the G2T is a better option. Otherwise, this thing is pretty cool. Gotta hand it to them. I love how they're doing something unique, something not seen before. This doesn't look like a boosted board clone, and I dig that a lot. Oh, and I just want to let you guys know that Backfire is not paying me a cent to say anything that I'm saying right now. Like, this is not, no. They offered the board for free, so thank you guys. Speaking of free boards, I actually have an announcement. Backfire and I are planning a 4 to 5 part video series of electric skateboarding throughout the country. I am gonna fly, drive, train, swim, run, walk to your city. We're gonna get together, we're gonna skate. The Stoked squad's gonna come together. And in every city that I go to, I'll be giving away things like the Backfire helmets, Backfire t-shirts, and a Backfire board in every single city that I go to. Right now there are plans for New York City, of course Washington DC, a couple more cities. We don't really know where to send me, so if you guys have an idea, go ahead and leave them down in the comments section below. Maybe the city with the most likes or the city that gets commented the most is the one that I'm gonna go to. So yeah, let me know where you want to skate with me at. Yeah, good job Backfire on this board. I think you killed it. The carbon fiber deck, again, is amazing. Anyways guys, thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, a thumbs up would be greatly appreciated. Huge thank you to all of my patrons over here. You guys are dope. Thank you so much for the support. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to be a part of the Stoked squad. And until next time guys, stay stoked. I'm out. Peace.